Oi, how's it going everybody? It's me, your guy Waddles. Welcome to another daily upload. Basalt is one of the coolest looking Nether update blocks. The block has this nice gray tone that is going to work great in a lot of different build situations. There's also a polished version of this block which makes things even better. Once 1.16 drops, you're probably going to want to get your hands on this stuff to build with it because it's seriously going to go well with a lot of different blocks. Lucky for us, basalt generators are a thing. Today's video is all about basalt generators. In today's video, we'll be going over 3 different basalt generator designs. Each design gets a little bit better than the last one, then they're all super easy to build. So if you enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Drop a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And speaking of subscribe, something big happened to Leets. So in case you didn't know, I have a YouTube channel, and hey, would you take a look at that? 500,000 subscribers, 500,000. Yep, that's right. I gotta say real quick right here, big shout out to all of you for the support. We hit 100K less than a year ago, which is pretty crazy, and now we're at 500,000. Big yay, big epic. Thank you so much. Of course, I've got some 500K Club merch on the way, more on that soon, and a special. But first, I need to come up with a special idea. If you have a special idea, drop it down in the comments below. Anyways, basalt generator time. Thank you all so much. Generator number 1. This generator is the most basic version of a basalt generator. This generator is crazy compact. It's also crazy easy to use. Grab a pickaxe, walk up to it, stand still, and hold down the mine button. That's all you have to do. Now, unfortunately, this generator does come with a little bit of a catch. There are losses with this generator. You see the basalt, it sometimes jumps into the lava, it burns up, you don't get it. See, that's pretty bad, but beggars can't be choosers. If you're going for a crazy simple design, you're just gonna have a little bit of losses. It's really not the end of the world. So, let's go ahead and slide into the materials and the setup for this super simple generator. In terms of materials here, you're not looking at a lot for this first generator. This generator requires the least amount of materials. To build this basalt generator, you'll need a lava bucket. I recommend having 4 trapdoors that don't burn, but you could just use normal building blocks as well. You'll need 1 soil block and 1 blue ice block. You'll also probably want a block of obsidian, but technically this thing is optional. You really don't need it if you can't find any obsidian for some reason. In terms of build difficulty, this build couldn't get any easier. To start building generator number 1, place a temporary block down. Then, around that temporary block, place either some building blocks that won't burn or some trapdoors that won't burn. I like the crimson trapdoors, so we're going to go ahead and go with those. Place them all around this block other than on the front side, the entrance side, this side right there. And the ground right there, place a soil block over here, blue ice, back there, obsidian, and then finally, lava bucket right there, then watch. Boom, basalt has been made. Now, all you need to do is get a pickaxe, walk up to this thing, and dig out the basalt. And once you dig out the basalt block, the lava will be able to spill forward, and boom, another basalt block will be made. This will happen over and over and over again until forever. So that's the generator itself, but what's the point of the obsidian block? Technically, you don't need the obsidian block placed back there to be able to use it. The obsidian block is for quality of life. Imagine this, I'm you and I want a bunch of basalt. I build this generator, then I walk up to it with my speedy pickaxe, but you don't need the speedy pickaxe, you can just use a normal pickaxe. Anyways, walk up to the generator's speedy pickaxe and then hold down the use button. If I'm facing the obsidian block, I'll be able to just keep holding down the use button. I won't have to press it down and then let go and press it down and, you know, repeat that process over and over and over again. If this obsidian block weren't here, then if I hold down the use button, I'm going to start ripping up the environment around this thing, which is kind of annoying. Also, the obsidian block being placed at the back of the thing prevents items from being thrown to the back of this thing where I can't reach them. If I were going AFK for a little bit and using this thing, all of those items back there would eventually despawn. Long story short, obsidian block, big good, big helpful, technically optional. If you're not a big fan of sacrificing some basalt to the lava, well hey, I don't blame you. Basalt generator number 2 is maybe the generator for you. Now I have to warn you, this generator is very noisy. So we grab our good pickaxe, we go ahead and turn this thing on, and piston firing noise. That's, it's noisy, but it's still pretty compact. The basalt is being pushed out this way, and we can stand over here and just mine this stuff whenever it gets pushed out here, nice and easily. This machine will run until there are 13 basalt blocks being pushed out of this machine. Once that happens, the machine turns off. And that happens because pistons can only push 12 blocks at a time. Over here, 12 blocks, over there, 13. If we power both pistons, only the left one works because of the block amounts in front of the thing. To start the machine up again, simply flick the lever, and then boom, you're good to go. Realistically, all of that whole amount pushing thing doesn't really matter, just something I figured you should know. This thing won't run infinitely, at least set up like this. Alright, now for the tutorial, you're gonna have to turn off. That's kind of obnoxious. Turn it off, just hit the lever. Generator number 2, supplies. The supplies for this generator are still pretty basic, pretty minimal, easy things to get. This time you'll need 1 observer, 1 piston, 2 redstone dust, 4 building blocks, can be anything, and then a lever. You'll also need the same basic supplies. We'll start this build off by placing a building block there, a building block there, and a building block there. Eventually, inside of these building blocks, we'll place a lava bucket, but not quite yet. In front of this spot right here, we'll place a soul soil, and then on the other spot right here, a blue ice, just like that. Now, we need to place a piston. This piston is going to move the basalt that we'll be creating. On top of the soul soil, place a temporary block, and then place an observer facing down. Then remove that temporary block, and put another building block right on top of the piston. Finally, redstone dust, and then lava bucket right there. Now, this thing is going to start running. To make it stop running, place a lever on the block above the piston, and turn the lever on. There we go, this has been turned off. Now, the reason that I consider this design to be a little bit better than the last one, the first one that I showed you, is because there are no losses with this design. If we turn this thing on and let it run a little bit, basalt will start to be generated. If you were using this thing in survival, I would recommend letting 1 basalt, maybe 2, pile up over there, and then start mining on the 3rd one, or just place a block right above that lava source over there, and you'll be good. No matter what though, you will have 0 losses with this design. No basalt will get burnt up in the lava. Next design. Not a fan of the noise? Well, hey, I don't blame you, because same, the noise is definitely annoying. Basalt generator number 3 is basically an improvement upon the last basalt generator, which was an improvement upon the first basalt generator. Personally, if I were doing this in survival, this is a basalt generator that I would be building. It only requires a little bit more space and a little bit more materials. The materials are all still super basic though. To use the thing, we'll go ahead and grab Quick Boy and then walk over here and mine up this basalt that's been sitting here waiting. Now, we can go ahead and just check out how beautiful and quiet and peaceful this basalt generator is. Again, 0 losses. If you were nervous about this spot right here, you could place another building block and have absolutely 0 losses. This thing is really great. I love this one. Just like with the last design, in its current setup, this thing will turn off as soon as there are 13 basalt blocks in front of the piston. Or you could just put an optional on-off lever. Basalt generator number 3, supplies. These are the supplies right here. Still pretty basic. 1 observer, 1 piston, 5 redstone dust, 2 repeaters, 4 building blocks, can be anything, and then the basic generator supplies. You could also have an optional on-off lever, like I just mentioned. This basalt generator is set up a little bit different than the last ones. We're going to start by placing a building block there, a building block here, and a building block there. Eventually, we'll be putting the lava right in there. In front of the lava, we'll place a soul soil block, then a temporary block, and then finally, a blue ice block. This configuration right here will actually still generate basalt because lava pours over soul soil and touches blue ice. Kind of. I mean, if it were pouring, it's not touching blue ice, but hey, I mean, it works. Anyways, though, this is the initial setup. After that, we're going to want to place a piston facing out this way, just like that, and then an observer looking towards the lava. Now, behind this observer, we need a little bit of wiring. We'll place a repeater just like that with 0 ticks added, and then another repeater right here with a maximum delay, just like that. Finally, we'll do another building block right behind that piston, then redstone dust, redstone dust, redstone dust, dust, just like that. That's all you need to do. Optional on-off lever can be placed really anywhere other than right here. If the wire turns, you have a big problem. So I would say maybe like there. That should probably be fine. Now we can go ahead and place the lava bucket right in there like that, and this thing will run. This right here is an observer stabilizer. This is stabilizing the observer and the piston, so it's not just doing that crazy loop annoying thing. You know, if we removed this, it would get obnoxious. Yeah, that's bad, so yeah, stabilize the observer. If your circuit messes up for some reason, like this, easy. Go ahead and break one of the redstone dusts, then put it back, and you should be good to go. And that's it. Go ahead and come back to this thing with a pickaxe and watch this thing work in all of its beauty, and listen for the lack of obnoxious observer piston feedback looping. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. And so, if you've been counting along, Elites, if you can count, you know that that was the 3rd basalt generator, and that means that's going to be just about it for today's video. If you are planning on setting up a basalt generator in your world, I definitely recommend doing basalt generator number 3. Doesn't take up all that much more space, and it makes so much less noise than basalt generator number 2. Again, I have to say big shout out to all of you for 500,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. It's crazy. It feels amazing. It feels unreal. It's amazing. If you've got a special idea, drop that down in the comments below. I would appreciate it. New merch coming very soon. Keep your eyes out for it. I'll talk about it in other videos, which is a good reason that you should hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. We're on that road to 600k subscribers. You know the deal. Today, I'd like to send a big shout out to my patrons, Dire Arctic Wolf and Cricket MC. If you're into more Nether Update content, like all of that stuff behind me, check out my Nether Update playlist. I'll leave that playlist on the end card today. Until tomorrow, stay fresh, elites. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.